this could be very short, depending on whether or not this is enough of a change to prevent this bad end. Oops, good question. What should I tell her? I just happened to see it and I was wondering.
Well,
The
it hardly
cognac.
seems a pertinent question, but if you must satisfy your curiosity, Mr. Otten always purchased his own drinks. He never accepted gifts of any sort from people.
Because when we mentioned it was used in the murder, she clammed up, and the next thing you know, she was found in the security room with her head hit over the head, and Kevin and Liam were involved somehow. So basically, no one gave Mr. Otten his cognac. Till anyone watching his habits could have poisoned it before it even arrived here. Maybe it was snuck in somehow. We're back at square one. We'll go through this. Oh, I better save here in case this does something. No more questions! Well, I guess we'll see if this locks me into a bad ending. Nope, not yet. I want to go see Marisa. No more questions. Okay, fine.
I'll talk to you later then.
I feel like we should have questions for her, but we don't. Makes me feel like we jacked up something. Oh, Liam time to leave. No more questions. I think it's bad when Liam leaves. Exhaust this.
Talk to you later.
This is concerning. Might be... Shit. Damn. Just asking. So if we go into the living room, we trigger Liam leaving. Hi, Lee May. No more questions. Can't trigger the vault without having read Mr. Alton's last moments. We can go back down here, though. Box has a lot of old papers with data about some experiment. I already have some of them with me. I'll leave the rest here for now. Empty. Nothing in this box. Probably shouldn't, though. Sure about that. Emergency light's not on right now. Is there something I'm missing? Well, financial... I just realized something. Mr. Alton secretly owns several financial institutions. Oh shit. Dead. So that's the normal bad ending. Okay,
That boy.
No more questions. If Kevin had the information about the financial institutions, so Kevin knew. Oh, what am I missing? Dead. Damn. Alright, we're gonna have to consult again. I'm not sure what I'm missing. We have all the pieces, we're just not sure how to put them all together in one run. What's becoming clear to us is that Kevin knew... I think Kevin is the killer. And I think the motive is the financial institutions that are essentially extorting the shit out of his family for his student loans that Mr. Alton was keeping off his back are actually owned by Mr. Alton. He had that information in his room. That's his motive. How do we present that, though? Well, in terms of stuff we can try, let's go through the last door on the right. Let's go through the last door on the right.
Sounds good to me.
Li Mei is angry. Even though Li Mei doesn't say anything, it seems like she's disappointed. As soon as I step into the room, I regret my choice.
Oh, Kansei. Hello again.
Marisa Klein stands up from the couch she was perched on and rushes toward me as if we were old friends.
I'm so sorry about before. No hard feelings, right?
Yeah, sure. Marisa's eyes grow wide at the sight of Li Mei.
Oh my! Aren't you adorable?
She leans down to inspect Li Mei's face.
Not really.
Li Mei stares back at Marisa calmly as she contradicts her.
You're a precocious child.
She turns to me with a fake smile plastered on her face.
Is she your little sister?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. You'd make a wonderful older brother.
I did once. Stares off into the distance. The world goes gray, if you say so. Marisa straightens up, takes a few steps back as if to admire the three of us.
So, are the three of you Liam's friends?
No, we're just here to talk to Mr. Alton about things.
Oh, what kind of things?
Marisa's eyes light up with a burning curiosity. I suddenly feel uncomfortable sharing any more information with her. Just things. It's nothing.
Oh, you can tell me. I promise I won't tell anyone.
She winks and places a finger to her lips as if to prove that she won't speak about whatever secrets we might divulge. It's really nothing we should be talking about.
Oh, don't be silly. You can talk about anything with me. It's not about Liam, is it?
You know what? We're done here. I'm not interested in continuing a conversation with such a shallow and annoying person. I turn and head for the door without bothering to wait for Marisa to respond. Damn, that was harsh. Li Mei follows us without any objection, but Naoki glances worriedly over his shoulder as he follows us out.
What was that all about?
It's nothing. She was touching some nerves for Kansei. We know he has from past conversations with Gursky. He had a little sister. She got murdered, and that prompted him moving away from here.
That definitely wasn't nothing. You lashed out at her for no reason.
Hey, I had a reason. She annoyed me. She's a reporter, get it? She's not interested in us, just the story. She's such a two-faced liar. Naoki sighs.
Lots of people lie, though. Especially the people we have to deal with. That's not really an excuse to be unkind.
He looks disappointed. Naoki will remember this.
We have to be better than this.
Romantic idea, but that doesn't cut it too well in the real world.
Well, should we keep exploring the house?
Yeah, let's get... Death has arrived. Not to rewind it any further, but... What was the context of this choice? I've get stuck in an elevator once before. Let's go alone. Just man up and go alone.
But what if something happens?
Like what? You're in the super house of technology. If something goes wrong, a robot will probably pop up and save you.
Really?
Probably not.
Oh.
He actually looks disappointed. Come on, let's just get moving. Three of us fit into the hallway. It's lined with doors. At the end of the hallway, a glass door leads to a descending staircase. Alright, this is where we split up. Let's start at the end and work our way back. There's the staircase and the two doors at the end. Do either of you have a preference?
No.
I'd rather not go down there, if it's okay.
Naoki points at the staircase. No surprise there. It's quiet and out of the way. I have a sneaking suspicion that Naoki's afraid of being underground. So we can explore alone. An interesting foible. I'll take the door on the right. We'll go see Marisa alone.
Then I'll take the one on the left.
Which is intriguing because having Li Mei with us prompts Marisa to make comments that sets off Kansei. Let's talk to Marisa alone. Naoki walks up to the door and places a hand on it. It beeps once and swings open for him. I turn to Li Mei. Are you okay with the staircase?
Yes.
She wanted to go there anyway. She turns and walks down the stairs without any hesitation. I turn to my door and touch it gently. A small red light flashes and the door beeps quietly before swinging open silently. As I enter the room, I nearly walk into Marisa Klein. She looks surprised as if I just caught her poking around where she shouldn't be.
Oh, Kansei. I'm sorry about before. I just assumed you were Liam because you look like you're his age.
It's fine. It's not fine, but there's no point in telling her that.
So what are you doing here?
Not much, just exploring.
No, I meant here, at Mr. Otten's place. You can't possibly be a business associate of his.
Much calmer this time. Can't exactly tell her that I'm his stock advisor now, can I? We'll be honest, I'm here for work.
Work? What kind of work do you do?
I guess I'm a special investigator. Marisa's eyes grow wide as she gazes at me in awe.
Then we're the same! You and I are both people who try to uncover the truth.
Maybe this'll finally get her to open up to us somewhat. About what she's looking into. She moves closer and lowers her voice.
So you're here to investigate Liam, aren't you? I knew it was only a matter of time before Mr. Otten got tired of his nephew's lies. Just between you and me, I really think all those rumors about Liam are the least of what he's done.
Funny. Back when she thought I was Liam, she said she didn't believe the rumors at all. Looks like she'll say anything to get what she wants. Still, I'm curious to know what exactly this Liam guy's been up to. Guess I'll have to play along for now. Why do you say that? Do you have any proof? She frowns.
Well, not yet. But I'm definitely going to find it. That's the real reason I came here, you see. I want to see if this family has any dirty little secrets that I can expose.
Well, that can be arranged. Puts her finger to her lips and winks.
Once I write a hard-hitting article about all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes here, everyone will see what a great journalist I am. We could work together, you know. I'll even list you as one of my sources. It'll help your career, won't it?
What a two-faced woman. Seems like the sort of person who's used to lying to get her way. Don't like the thought of working with her, but it seems better than getting on her bad side, and it's probably best to keep an eye on her. Guess I should put on a happy face. Sure, couldn't hurt to trade notes. Smiling feels weird. Do I look as weird as I feel?
Great! We can cover so much ground if we split up. I bet if we explore right now, we can find something good.
Marisa doesn't seem to notice that my smile is faker than a spray-on suntan. She heads to the door and touches it. It beeps and slides open. Hi, Li Mei. As soon as we enter the hallway, we come face to face with Li Mei.
Whoops! Sorry, darling. Didn't see you there.
Li Mei tilts her head to the side and gazes at me curiously. Why don't you go that way and I'll talk to this girl? I point down the hallway and Marisa nods.
Good idea.
She flits off cheerfully. I didn't realize it was possible to be this annoyed by someone. Li Mei and I stand in silence for a few moments. Finally, she breaks the silence.
She's strange.
She is. Although considering our state, I don't know if either of us really has the right to say that. A hint of a smile plays around Li Mei's lips. It's probably the most emotion I've seen out of her so far. Well, did you find anything downstairs? She shakes her head.
The door won't open. No guests allowed.
Guess I shouldn't be surprised by that. Well, let's go see if Naoki has had any better luck. As we approach the second door, it swings open and Naoki exits.
Oh, hey. Find anything?
Nothing in particular, unless you count an annoyingly nosy reporter. What about you?
Well, no reporter on this side. That room is full of Chinese artifacts. It's like a museum in there.
This whole house feels like a museum. It's got Chinese relics everywhere. I wonder why he's so interested in China.
Well, should we keep exploring the house?
Yeah, let's get funky. It's an interesting development. We're now working together with Marisa. That might change things down the line. I enter the living room again. Not much has changed since my last visit, including the occupant.
Oh, Kansei. Did you find out anything about Mr. Otten or Liam?
Oh yeah, not sure there's a tactful way to put this. Mr. Otten died.
What? Are you kidding?
We'll skip through that. I think he was murdered.
That's why I came. I write for a humanitarian blog dedicated to unearthing the hidden cruelties of this world.
Uh-huh.
We've covered everything from torturing prisoners of war to animal abuse.
That tracks with what she told us later on in one of our past runs. So you're not really a reporter for modern trends.
No, that part's true. I found that being a journalist for a magazine of fluff pieces puts people at ease.
So you write fluff pieces for them, and write serious stuff for actual humanitarian efforts. Interesting.
It's just that I also happen to run a blog that publishes a lot of humanitarian pieces.
She smiles sadly at me.
I guess it's my best attempt at being a hero.
Interesting. So, illegal things? Oh,
Well, don't quote me on this, but I got a tip that he headed up a series of government-funded experiments conducted on unborn children.
oh shit. What?
A group of women were asked to volunteer for a sleep study, but the study was just a cover to administer an experimental drug. The effects weren't immediately evident, though. The drugs were meant to genetically alter any children that the women might have. The exact nature of the alteration is unknown, unfortunately. Most of the women suffered miscarriages, probably as a result of the drug.
I opened my mouth, but no words come out. Can't even think of anything to say in response. Marisa watches me closely, trying to decipher my reaction. Finally, she continues her story.
A little over 20 years ago, most of these women were in college, struggling to pay for tuition. They were offered a large amount of money for participating in a sleep study, and they leapt at the opportunity. As the years passed, each discovered she was unable to have children. Most couldn't even get pregnant, but several had miscarriages. One gave birth prematurely. The child only lived for 3 days.
Oh, Jesus. Mr. Alton was behind all this.
He was definitely part of it. As far as I can tell, he was one of the people running the experiment. I don't know who ordered it or what his role was beyond that. Everything I have is circumstantial, though. I've tracked down the surviving women in the study, but unless I can find Mr. Alton with something, I have no real proof.
Take a deep breath. I don't want to believe that Marisa's right, but if she is... Surviving women, what do you mean?
One of them died shortly after the study took place. Complications during birth.
My head is swimming now. It's hard to focus.
Are you all right? You don't look so well.
This is going places. I'm fine. Marisa touches my shoulder, but I brush her hand aside. It's nothing. I'll be fine. Well, shit. That went places. No more questions. I'm sure that Marisa's emotions are all over the place right now. She came here to bring Mr. Alton to justice, but he died before she could. Part of her wants to rejoice that he can't hurt anyone anymore, but I'm sure she also hates herself for finding joy in the death of someone else.
Kevin is uncertain. He does not know what he should be feeling.
Definitely seemed to have trouble believing me when I told him that Mr. Alton died. Denial, I guess. We told him that was murder, too, so we're going that route and see if that affects anything. I think the way we approached Marisa is the most significant change we've got so far. And that's gonna take us places, because that's more information, the most information we've had regarding Alton's past activities. Which is probably the details of the stuff that we uncovered in the basement.
That's a pretty strong claim. Are you sure?
Well, not exactly. I mean, I was talking with Marisa about it. She's got some pretty good evidence for it.
Is that so?
Yeah, I don't know all the details, though.
This definitely warrants a closer look. I think I'll go speak with her about it.
Now, this is interesting. This is definitely
We can
going
talk more about
places.
this later.
I got no more questioned. Alright then. Goodbye. That bad.
This definitely warrants. That's a pretty strong claim. Are you sure?
Now this gives us a new dialogue option with Sophia. Do you know anything about a sleep study that Mr. Alton ran about 20 years ago?
A sleep study? I do recall one from about 20 years ago, government-sponsored. I believe he was working with a partner at the time.
Do you remember who this person was?
Of course I do. His name was Shen Guan. He was Liam's father.
I'm sorry, what? What?
Mr. Guan and Mr. Otten were partners, and Shen later married Mr. Otten's sister.
Wait, then why is his name Liam Otten? Shouldn't he be Liam Guan?
It's my understanding that Liam's name was changed when Mr. Otten took custody of him. Both Shen Guan and his wife died a long time ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. It's in the past now.
Well, we're getting the real information now.
This
Shit.
was all before my time, of course. I'm only telling you what I've overheard.
That's fine. Even a little bit of information helps. No more questions. Alright,
Of course.
Hi, Naoki. No more questions.
Feel free to come talk more if you want.
Okay, so legitimately, telling Liam that it was a heart attack gets him to relax. Telling Liam it was murder sends Liam upstairs immediately. So, heart attack. Oh, shit.
Can't believe I'm locked in this stupid place because of a stupid heart attack.
Hi, Gursky.
Okay, officer. You win. I'll stay here in this stupid house for as long as you want.
So we've gotten more information out of Marisa, and that more information got Gursky to come talk to Marisa. Detective Gursky raises an eyebrow at me, as if to ask if I had anything to do with Liam's stubborn compliance. I shrug and look away. Marisa is currently eyeing Liam with a cunning look in her eyes. She circles around him slowly before flashing him a wide smile.
Liam Otten! Just the man I wanted to see.
Yeah, I guess I am.
I'd like to interview you for the magazine Modern Trends, if you don't mind.
She clasped her hands together as if begging him for just a brief moment of his precious time. Detective Gursky gives me a brief nod before quickly exiting the room. No doubt he and Marisa have been talking about extracting information from Liam. I probably shouldn't stick around. I'm just gonna... yeah, I'll just go. I duck out of the room as quickly as I can. No more questions. Goodbye. Okay. Well... enter the living room. Liam's here. Alright. Not really gonna learn anything from Liam, I don't think. But getting cut out of his will, that kind of sets off Liam to some degree. Well, that's all. No more questions. I guess we will trigger Liam to go upstairs. Oh, hey, goodbye. Hi. No more questions.
That's cool. We'll talk later.
Let's see what... And can we see what Gursky has to say? We know this. No more questions.
Try not to get into too much trouble.
When do I ever get into trouble, Gursky? I suppose. Naoki's already gone. Oh, wow. How do we approach this? Let's get through here. Liam told me about him. Move through this. How do we approach this? Other companies.
Those are some of his ledgers from one of his smaller companies.
Didn't know he owned other companies.
Well, he's bought most of them up under various names or through organizations that he heads.
That is pretty savage. And that makes a lot of sense now. We're just going to replay this conversation, because we know this is one of the routes. Meaning?
Meaning that his ownership of these companies is not readily evident.
I feel like I've mentioned it a few times, but just as a refresher. On one hand, the employees working for Mr. Otten directly in his household, he doesn't pay them. He has other means of compensation. Like, Sophia's husband is on the high up the organ donor list of his company, in exchange for her services as assistant. In exchange for Kevin's services as IT manager, Mr. Otten is keeping the creditors from harassing Kevin's family. So if you remember, Kevin got student loans to go to, I think, Harvard or something? Big school, IT degree, graduated high in his class. But then, as loan companies do with student loans, they buy and sell their loans to each other to make money, because they're all about for-profit financial institutions and shit. And so the people who bought up Kevin's loans jacked up the interest rates astronomically, started harassing his family. Mr. Otten kept them off his back in exchange for his work as IT manager. And the ledgers that connect... So he owns them in secret. The ledgers that connect Mr. Otten to those companies likely mean that those companies are the ones who bought up Kevin's loans, who are harassing his family. They're owned by Mr. Otten, so Mr. Otten is directly responsible for his family's financial misery.
Yes.
And now Mr. Otten's not even paying them for his services. Why? That explains so much.
Many of these companies are financial institutions. His ownership of them could be seen as a conflict of interest with his business decisions at Otten Engineering.
Cognac? Murder.
Are you sure?
Surprise registers on Sophia's face for a brief moment.
Well... You don't think his cognac was poisoned, do you?
What? Well, it certainly looks that way. The symptoms are all consistent. Pale skin, the sweating?
If he were poisoned, what kind of poison are we talking about?
Oh, this is new. What do you mean? Sophia paces back and forth on the floor, speaking rapidly under her breath.
Why didn't I remember until now?
What? She berates herself. Sophia spins around to face me again.
This poison we're talking about, is it a sort of clear, oily liquid?
Eh? Sophia, do you know what it is? She hurries to the cupboard and pulls out a white linen napkin.
I just hope it's still here.
Eh? Eh? He pulls out a plastic bin from underneath the sink. The recycling logo is painted on the side. With a napkin wrapped around her hand, she picks carefully through the pile of bottles and cans until she finds what she's looking for.
Here.
What is this? She holds up a simple plastic water bottle. It's empty save for a few drops of water sloshing around the bottom. What is it?
I found this in the incinerator yesterday. We burn our garbage daily. I pulled it out because it belongs in the recycling.
Yesterday?
When I picked it up, I got some of the contents on my hands. It's not water. The texture is more like oil.
What makes you think it's the poison?
Because I felt ill all yesterday after I touched it. The same exact symptoms you spoke of.
Oh shit.
What if it's the poison? What if the killer tried to throw it away?
But it's just a water bottle you happened to find. You may have been sick for some other reason.
No one in this house puts recycling in the incinerator. Mr. Otten has very strict rules, and we've always followed them. This is the only time I've ever seen something out of place. Please, just look at it.
She has something here. I take the wrapped bottle from her, being careful not to touch the plastic. Looks innocent enough, but if she's right, there's only one person who could have poisoned Mr. Otten. Let's take this to Detective Gursky. Sophia nods in agreement. She's not going to try and handle this on her own, which means she won't get attacked. Two of us hurry down the hall and into the main lobby, where we find Detective Gursky and Aki talking with each other.
Whoa, you two look like you're in a hurry.
Yeah, I think we have our key piece of evidence. I hold up the bottle for Detective Gursky and Aki to see.
And what is it?
It's the poison. Or what's left of it, at least.
It'll be easier if I just explain to you who did it.
Fair enough. So who did it?
It was Mr. Otten, obviously. It was Kevin.
The IT guy?
But how did he do it?
Poisoned Mr. Otten's cognac, most likely. He wanted it to look like someone from the outside poisoned it before it even arrived at the house. So he picked something that Mr. Alton would lock up in the office.
How'd he get into the office? I thought no one was allowed in.
He's the IT guy. He has control over all that shit. That may be true for Sophia and Liam, but Kevin controls all the security at the house. But he has a master code that can open any door.
Is that true?
Yes, he's never used the master code, but it does exist.
So he had means and opportunity. What about a motive?
Did for fun. It's obviously for revenge.
Revenge? For what?
I hold up the papers I found at the security room. Destroying his family's business, of course. I found these in the security room. I hand the papers to Detective Gursky and he rifles through them, scanning each page briefly with his eyes.
What am I looking at?
Proof of ownership. Mr. Alton owned quite a few loan agencies under assumed names. And gave out student loans to families like Kevin's, then changed the interest rate without warning, pulling them into more debt than they could handle. Debt that he supposedly rescued Kevin's family from was one that he created himself. There it is.
So Kevin would bear a grudge against Mr. Otten for cheating his family and using him.
Obviously, Kevin, being the IT guy, has the access to these records to some degree. I could find them, found them, and probably start plotting
That's
this
a
shit.
good enough motive for me. And he's the only person with the means to do it.
Sophia found this in the incinerator. We think he carried the poison in his bottle, and then tried to destroy the evidence.
Meaning that we'll probably find his fingerprints all over it.
Frantic beeping noise interrupts our discussion.
What is that?
Uh-oh.
The house is coming out of lockdown. Kevin must be unlocking all the doors.
He's probably watching us finger him as the killer right now and is getting ready to leave. I groan. Of course, he can see us. I'm holding his stupid murder weapon in my hand. He probably knows we've got him figured out.
Kevin isn't going to leave through the front. We never let him past us. Sophia, what other exits are there?
There's an emergency door in the museum.
Detective Gursky and Aki exchange horrified glances.
Li Mei!
Is there
Oh,
any
shit.
way to lock all the doors again?
There's a panic box upstairs that...
Don't explain it, just go!
Oh shit. Sophia turns around and dashes up the stairs while the rest of us race towards the museum. Detective Gursky grabs the handle of the door and pulls, but the lock by the door beeps stubbornly. He pounds on it with his fist.
Kevin, we know you're in there!
No response.
Kevin!
Aki glances at Naoki and nods. He nods in return before punching in a string of numbers into the box beside the door. Box rewards us with a friendly beep and a click. Detective Gursky kicks the door open and we rush in.
Don't move!
What? Oh shit! Kevin stands across the room from us, one hand firmly on Li Mei's shoulder, and the other holding a knife to her throat.
Kevin, it's okay.
We can talk about this. Don't dig yourself into a deeper hole than you're already in, son. Detective Gursky holds his hands up for Kevin to see.
We're just going to talk.
What if I don't want to talk?
Kevin shakes his head vehemently.
I'm not stupid.
No, you're very intelligent. You should know that Sophia's locking the doors and there's nowhere to go. So why don't you just put that knife down and let us talk?
Kevin's gaze darts back and forth between us and the exit.
You're lying.
Aki steps forward slowly, hands held in the air.
Kevin, please. Just let her go.
Kevin's expression softens for a brief moment, but he doesn't release Li Mei. Kansei attempt?
You think I'm gonna give up my only bargaining chip?
Presses the tip of the knife to Li Mei's neck. A small bead of blood appears from where the knife had punctured her skin. Runs down the side of her neck slowly, leaving a single crimson trail on her pale skin. Li Mei's body shudders and her eyes grow dull. Oh no! What? Holy shit! In a single fluid motion, she snatches the knife from Kevin's hand and spins around, pushing him to the ground. Without hesitation, she raises the knife above her head and sinks the blade into his Jesus Christ, girl!
Ah!
What the fuck? Kevin stares at Li Mei with muted disbelief. His entire body begins to shake and he collapses to the ground. Holy shit! God damn! Blood pours from his cut, seeping into his clothes and creeping across the floor, and I find myself unable to do anything. Body is frozen in shock. The world around me is fuzzy, distant. I see Detective Gursky kneeling beside Kevin. He's shouting something at Naoki, but I can't understand what he's saying. Aki rushes forward and wraps her arms around Li Mei. It's the first time I've seen Aki look so frightened. Li Mei stares at Kevin's motionless body as if she's never seen him before. Knife in her hand slips from her fingers and falls to the floor with a dull clatter. This can't be happening. There's no way this is happening. I can hear my own heart pounding against my ribcage as blood rushes to my head. What is starting to grow even fuzzier. I feel ill. I clutch at my stomach and stumble a few paces back, so Kevin's dead as a doornail. Kevin is dying and my Kansei is soaking up every moment of it. I struggle to remain standing, but it's useless. We were wondering earlier what it would feel like to die. Our Kangai's Kansei obviously reacts to death. But is this the first time he's experiencing someone actively dying right in front of him? Because that's terrifying. When I fall forward, the world around me turns black. Holy shit! God damn! That explains why we don't talk about Li Mei. Girl. God damn. Oh. Oh, special about designing Li Mei. I think we'll leave off here. Do we get a different ending? I suppose the question is if we follow... You know what, let's try it. I was going to split this into a different video, but let's try it. Now, we go through using the same route that we got early on. We go through the vault path. As soon as and we get this. We essentially speedrun stratted my way through the vault. So, as soon as I touch the SD card, I hear a series of high-pitched beeps. Uh-oh, we're about to have a killer running right into our lap. Door bursts open and Kevin rushes in. Grab the SD card and stuff it in my back pocket before whirling around to face him. Kevin slams the door shut and spins around, jumping in surprise as soon as he sees me.
Since when?
And he glances up at the cameras mounted on the ceiling and lets out a frustrated sigh. Ah, he didn't see us. That timing, though.
Right.
Li Mei touches my arm gently and whispers.
He's panicking.
Kevin, what's going on? What's all the beeping for? Take a step towards him, but he reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a knife.
Stay there!
He rushes past me, keeping the knife pointed at my throat. With his free hand, he grabs Li Mei and pulls her toward himself with a rough tug. What are you doing? Move slowly away from Kevin, never taking my eyes off of him.
I have to get out of here!
The door's locked.
Not for long.
He laughs, but it sounds more like a pained wheeze.
We're coming out of a lockdown. In a few seconds, the doors will unlock, and I'll be home free.
Something in my brain clicks. You're the one who poisoned Mr. Alton. You're the only one who could have. Kevin laughs, a strange mix of fear and derision.
Yeah, you're kinda slow to the party. Your friends already figured that out.
Oh, okay, they were solving the case while I was, getting the SD card with the special evidence. Waves a knife at me again, but I don't move.
Con! Kevin is the murderer!
Despite my current predicament, I find myself rolling my eyes. The information would have been a lot more useful about 10 seconds ago.
Hang in there, we're coming to get you.
Kevin, dude, why?
Why? Are you kidding?
Moves toward the exit as quickly as he can, but Li Mei isn't cooperating. Her body hangs limp, and he's forced to drag her towards the door.
He took advantage of my family. He ruined their lives, and it's my fault. I had to.
No, you didn't. You're so short-sighted. Did you even think any of this through at all? We're interrupted by a pounding on the door.
Kevin! Kevin, we know you're in there!
Kevin puts his fingers to his lips, motioning for the two of us to be silent. Detective, he has a knife and he's got Li Mei! Kevin glares at me. The pounding on the door stops. Did they give up? I hear a soft beeping noise. It sounds like they're trying to override the retina detector. I don't think Kevin's noticed yet. Kevin moves slowly towards the exit, eyes darting between me and the door. I move towards Kevin, but his grip on Li Mei tightens.
Kong, I don't.
Li Mei's voice is only a whisper, but the fear in her eyes looks more like concern for me than for her own well-being. Kevin stumbles a few paces back, dragging Li Mei along with him. He's already breathing heavily. It's obvious he's not used to anything physically strenuous. IT guys, right? Still, the look in his eyes promises that he's not going down without at least attempting to put that knife in someone's chest. Took a step forward, and he moves one step towards the exit. Take another step forward, and Kevin swings a knife at me. Whistles through the air, and I try to jump out of the way. My ankle twists under my weight, and I stumble forward. Ah! The door bursts open, but Detective Gursky and Aki freeze as soon as they see the situation. I'm fine. I hold my hand up, motioning for Gursky and Aki to stay at a distance. I twitch my gaze back and forth between Kevin's eyes and the knife in his hand. There's gotta be an opening. Detective Gursky and Aki still stand in the doorway, not daring to move. Kevin keeps his knife trained on me. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Aki blink. Suddenly, Kevin's body shivers. Looks around wildly as if he's in a daze. The hand holding the knife goes limp. Ooh! Without hesitation, I race forward and swing my arm. I call this the last rites. My fist meets his face and he stumbles back. He drops the knife and it falls to the ground with a clatter. Detective Gursky moves in quickly, grabbing Kevin's free hand and expertly twisting his arm behind his back. He gives me a grudging smile.
Not bad, kid.
I release Kevin and allow Gursky to take over. As soon as I do, Li Mei runs to me and takes my hand. I look down at her and give a reassuring smile. It's okay. Kevin won't hurt you anymore. She smiles back at me. She looks grateful, but there's something about her eyes that still reflects fear. She's not afraid of Kevin, though. So, before I can ask, she gives my hand a small squeeze.
Thank you.
Oh. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Aki watching the scene with a satisfied look in her eyes. I approach her and lean casually against the wall beside her. So, the little panic attack that Kevin just had just a few moments ago.
You can thank me later.
She flashes her usual confident smile. You know you blink every time you do it. Not very subtle. I poke her arm, as if somehow that would help me get my point across. I'm not sure why I'm teasing her. Guess I'm curious to see her reaction.
And you pass out every time you use your Kansei.
Okay, you have a point.
I could teach you how to control it if you want. How to stay conscious. It'll take a while for you to get it right, but I get the feeling you'll be stuck with us for a while.
She leans against the wall next to me. Her smile is softer now, more genuine. We're one of the gang now. We're one of the gang now. Laugh and shake my head. No, I don't mind. Tilt my head back and gaze thoughtfully at the ceiling. After all these years of running, it might be nice to finally take a break. Hey! We got the culprit. Achievement unlocked. Good detective work. In that we did no detective work. And the rest of the gang did the work that we did in the other route, at least. and figured it out. Now then. The trip to the Alton estate was only yesterday, but somehow it feels like it's been longer than that. It was the hours of interrogation for the police that came after Aki and Detective Gursky solved the case. Maybe it was the uncomfortable atmosphere when Aki and Detective Gursky actually had to share credit for solving the case. Maybe just a strange feeling of nostalgia. Everything felt so familiar. Piecing together people's lives, the adrenaline rush. It's the first time I've felt real in 3 years.
Hopefully today isn't as eventful as yesterday.
Aki stretches and throws herself on the couch.
I feel like celebrating our mission accomplished by doing absolutely nothing.
Hell yeah, girl. Mission accomplished, but your client is dead.
Ah, good point.
Don't ruin the vibe,
We
Kanga.
don't have any work today. We might as well enjoy it.
Words have barely escaped Aki's lips when there's a firm knock on the door. Aki looks at Lee Mei. Petite girl runs to the door and stands on her toes to peer through the eye hole. When she turns around, she doesn't look pleased.
Detective.
Great.
Aki takes her time unlocking the door. Finally, she makes a grand show of opening it.
Well, hello, Miko. What brings you to this corner of the world?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I just assumed that you want to know what happened with Kevin.
What happened?
We found his prints on the bottle that Sophia brought us. Once we showed him, he pled guilty. He added liquid nicotine to Mr. Arden's cognac and simply waited for him to drink it.
Liquid nicotine? Damn.
When you showed up that day, Mr. Arden had a panic attack, and he went to the bottle for comfort. We wound up killing him instead.
Oh, that's concerning.
What's going to happen to Mr. Otten's estate now?
Going to Liam.
Hard to say. Technically, it belongs to Liam, but we're having trouble finding him.
Why? Where'd he go?
He ran off during all the confusion. Guess he didn't want to be arrested for his own crimes.
His own crimes? Aki looks severely displeased.
So he's still out there somewhere?
Don't worry, we'll find him.
He smiles pointedly at Aki.
We always do.
She flashes him her trademark grin.
You don't have to tell me, officer.
Gursky laughs.
Well, I'll be seeing you kids around. Try to stay out of trouble, okay?
Anything you say, sir.
When have we ever not stayed out of trouble? The smile on Aki's face, I get the feeling that's not a pledge we're going to be able to keep. And again, looking at Gursky's expression, I'm fairly certain he doesn't expect us to keep it either. Staying here might not be so bad after all. The first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to what tomorrow will bring. Well done! You solved the case. You've also unlocked some bonus content as a reward for your hard work. Check the main menu screen to see what you unlocked. Oh boy. Bop. I love these little cut-ins. That was savage as fuck. And there's this. The SD card that we found in the vault has Kansei in it. Which I feel like that's the teaser we got from the bad ending on the vault path. So, Oh, some of Beatrice's original sketches from our style redesign. We decided to take the art in a more mature direction. Oh, that's cool. It's between this and our original style. Lee May smiling. I love to see it. Kansei design? Original designs? I don't know what happened here that didn't unlock that CG. But alas. Epilogue. Well.
Hey, you here or what? I got the stuff you wanted.
I'm here. No need to shout, Liam.
Hello, you.
Yeah, whatever. This is all I could get. I kinda had to sneak out the back before the police arrested me, too.
What did I tell you about staying out of trouble?
Are you gonna lecture me now or something? It's not like I could have gotten anything else anyway. That Detective Gursky insists on keeping most of these papers as evidence.
Evidence? How did he even find it in the first place?
He didn't. That con guy kid found it.
Con guy?
Some new guy hanging out with the twins and that China doll.
Did he have dirty blonde hair dyed black at the ends?
Yeah, you know him?
We've
You should
met.
have stopped him.
Oh, come on. What did you want me to do? Kill him?
Yes, it's what I would have done.
Well, as you and Father are so fond of pointing out, I'm not like you.
Ooh. Are you two related?
Pity, really. Well, at least you finally managed to do your job. How many years did it take you again?
Oh, don't even start. I did what you told me to do. So you'll leave me alone now, right?
You're free to go. Go enjoy the rest of your pitiful life, Liam. There's not much left of it after all.
What? Oh shit. Well. See you next game then, I suppose. Chance? Please don't kill me. Okay. The character design process begins with one of my sketches. The sketch is just a rough idea of the direction I want the character to go. In this case, the most important points in my design were a cute Chinese dress and a skull pin in the hair. Beatrice sketches an updated design with several different color options. So the base, the dress, the skull pin, the updated design, hairstyle, the pin, the dress, color options. I see. Once we agree on a design, Beatrice sketches possible potential sprite poses and begins to work on the finished sprite. Well, very expressively, May. Opted for more subdued final version due to her backstory and nature of her Kansei. But I like these expressions, especially pouty Li Mei. That's adorable. At around this point, I decided to take the art style in a new direction, so Li Mei got a redesign with a more mature look. I see. The final design is a cross between the original cute version and the mature version. For Li Mei, in particular, I wanted a heavier focus on the cute look to contrast with her personality. What succeeded? Yeah, and worked out. This from the director. Whoa! When sakevisual released Kansei a year ago, my hand has trembled with every copy I handed across that bare convention table. I didn't know what would happen. Would anyone like it? Was it even any good? Been an incredible year since then. You guys have shown so much enthusiasm for Kansei and its world. I'm completely floored by how much support you have shown for all of the team members who worked on it. You guys got me through some tough days and some long nights. Now that Kansei is complete, my hands are trembling again. I'm excited. Can't wait to share what we've been working on these past months. Beatrice has been an incredible partner in creating these characters in this world, and her art gives the characters a depth that I only imagined. Mark has once again brought in beautiful music that gives this world depth. Again, I owe my life to all the voice actors who gave the characters life. And of course, I am eternally thankful to you, the detective. This world exists for you. This story is yours. Kansei means empathy. Spelled differently, it also means complete. Without you, the story would never be told. Mystery would never be solved. Thank you for joining us and making Kansei complete. Wow. For as old as this is, it's got to be a great feeling for you all seeing these games having a whole new life on Steam and itch.io. I think they were released on itch.io around the normal release time. To double check on that. But yeah, released on Steam around 2018. Or at least, let me check on that. Oh no, I'm sorry. Wow, Steam really has been around that long. So it was released on Kansei. Kansei was released January 4th, 2010. Okay, the 2018 is the re-release of Kansei. 'Cause, yeah, 2010, and the third episode, Yusei, was released February 1st, 2013. So the development and release of these games originally covered around 3 years or so. Interesting. And the re-release of Kansei. I think this is also made it to the Switch now. Kansei did. Yeah, this is the second turn. So, yeah, taking on a whole new life. A whole new opportunity ahead for this series and this world and these mysteries. Bringing them to more people. Leading more detectives into this world. Oh, 2011. That's when this originally came out. I was looking at the Steam release date. It was 2018. That's the re-release. Original re-release. I think recently, some point beyond that, the second turn made it to the Switch. Which is cool as hell. Oh. That was a ride. And you know what? It was a good mystery, too. And it was... I love... Maybe I'm a dumb dork, but I enjoy thinking about how these visual novel games I play are structured, I guess, narratively? In terms of branching timelines, branching story paths, and the like. In a sense, it really did feel like discovering the I guess in a sense it really felt like both timelines could have been canon, if that makes sense. It's the same story progression that seems to occur when we go down to the basement to reset the power, which is really when we uncover the entire mystery. It seems to occur independently when we decide to focus instead on reading Mr. Alton's final moments and finding the vault. Or maybe, here's another thought, maybe that only happens because we went down that path beforehand and made those discoveries. Maybe because, mechanically, in-game, we went down that route all the way, made those discoveries, connected the dots, and pointed out Kevin is the killer. That when we go down the route to get the vault and the SD card with the sequel tease on it, that sets a flag that means that the independent team of Aki and Naoki can solve it following the path that we took on that path. They can solve it themselves while we're deciding to solve the mystery of the vault. That's just really interesting. I like that. Those of you who said Jisei was too short, this is a much more involved narrative that fleshes out the world and the characters in it. I really enjoyed that. And to compare it to I know one or two people made the comparison in comments. The early videos of this series, and Kansei, comparing it to the Detective Inaba series. And in a sense, it's a happy little coincidence, but there really is a lot of parallels between this and the Detective Inaba series. The first was a fairly short, fairly simple mystery and narrative, introducing the characters. Simple mystery. Very, right in the world. I don't know what that sentence was meant to indicate, I apologize. But you get what I'm saying, right? Just a short, insular mystery. Introducing the characters, maybe hinting at more to come. The second in the series, fleshing out the world more, and the characters more. The second in the series also taking place in the mansion of a rich family. Even more coincidentally. The second being a more involved mystery, a more personal, more human mystery, too. I'm gonna say, for Detective Inaba series, that's what always struck me about the second game of the Detective Inaba series, is that for a series where the first game was so so blatantly supernatural, first game. Second game was shockingly human, and I say mundane in the best possible way. The third game in the series gets, has another involved mystery, but is also deeply personal in its resolution. And Yosei looks to be that very much indeed. We have Chance's involvement with Liam, and what appears to be Liam taking the records of the experiment from Mr. Alton's house. The experiment being that sleep study, perhaps. We have Kansei and friends coming away with the SIM card with what appears to be more recent surveillance that he was working on. And had Kansei, of all people, on it. What was that involved with? What was Kansei wrapped up with before... What was Kansei and his sister wrapped up with before his sister was murdered and he fled? What happened with his sister's murder? It seemed like they were doing exactly this, solving murders. How did Detective Gursky first meet Kansei and his sister, that he knows of her murder like this? What is Li Mei's origin story? What is the story with Mr. Alton's partner in the sleep study, Shen Guan? Are Chase from the first game and Liam Alton siblings? So does that make Chase Shen Guan's daughter, too? Is Shen Guan alive, Liam Alton's business partner? There's a lot to think about going into the final game. And the final game promises to directly address Kansei's backstory, and likely the murder of Kansei's sister. You bet your butt we're gonna go right into that. Hope you enjoyed this. I really did. Not gonna lie, I really did. It was a lot more complicated to work out everything I had to do to get through the mystery. Once I did, it all made sense. I'm gonna say that the earlier frustrations with me not getting through to Marisa, I wasn't going back far enough. Makes sense after the fact, but made it through. We solved the case. See, we solved the case, and in a sense, we brought Kansei back to some degree. And Kansei's a bit more welcoming to this group of quirky friends, Aki, Naoki, and Lee Mei. Lee Mei is adorable, except when you try to hurt her and she stabbed the shit out of you. That was terrifying. Maybe we'll find out more about that next game. I don't know. We'll see. Until next time. Until then, thanks for watching.